Hi guys. So for today's tarot reading, we are going to be getting into some very deep things. I have been through a lot of abuse in my life, and I have had to work through and heal a lot of abuse in my life. I have also worked with a lot of other people who have gone through a lot of forms of abuse as well, and have researched in depth a lot of the things dealing with going through these things as well. In order to bring myself out, I had to do that, right? So we are definitely going to be getting into a lot of very heavy things today, and different forms of abuse you may have gone through, things like that. The triggers come up for a reason though, so you shouldn't be afraid to view this video or to face these triggers, because I'm going to walk you through it in a way that's going to help you to be able to heal a lot of these hurts and pains that have been welling up inside of you for a very long time. So we have 3 piles today. 1, 2, 3. Take a moment to get in touch with your intuition and your higher self. And I'm also sending a lot of energetic healing your way throughout this entire reading as well. And pick the pile you feel most drawn to. Thank you guys so much for all the support you send my way every day in every way. I really am so appreciative. All the people who like, share, comment, subscribe, leave timestamps, donations, make purchases. You can find my price list, the products, my email information, and my Cash App, PayPal, Amazon wish list, and P.O. box in the description box below as well if you'd like to do that. If you feel like this reading has helped you work through some things, show some support back in whatever way you can. Whatever way you can is good enough. And I really appreciate each and everything that you guys do. Thank you so much for that. And let's get started with pile 1. For pile 1, so the area of your life that this is affecting most at this moment is your ability to be able to set boundaries, your ability to be able to speak the truth of what you're feeling or thinking in the moment without worrying about whether or not it's going to upset people, without feeling like you're going to be rocking the boat, without feeling like you're going to lose the people you love most, things like that. It may also be affecting your ability to learn and grow, or it could be affecting your ability to be able to seek out some sort of higher learning as well. It may be affecting your ability to listen to your inner wisdom or what you know is best for you. And it may be affecting your ability to be able to cut things off that are not very good for you, or to be able to put your foot down in certain situations. Winter wishes. I just was noticing that said winter wishes. So, there could definitely be some things that you've been wishing for, but you haven't been expressing it. There could be some things that you may be expecting other people to just read your mind on, instead of actually voicing your opinion on. Or you may just be hoping that they'll figure it out without pushing them to do it. But when it comes to situations, relationships, everything like that, when you come into contact with new people like that, and you're figuring out the dynamics of everything, it takes both parties communicating things in order for them to make progress forward. So working on your throat chakra, I feel like, is going to be very good for you as well. I wonder if that card right there is throat chakra. It's the only one that got left behind. Focus on moving forward one step at a time. Patience is a virtue, and it also reaps amazing rewards after working hard and waiting with faith for a harvest. So you may also be overworking. You may have a lot of things going on right now, a lot of stress going on right now. It may be causing you to emotionally disconnect a little bit and to push yourself far harder than you need to push yourself. And right now, you just need to take a breath. You just need to take a day off. You just need to take a day to you and tell everybody to go the fuck away. And I'm not doing anything today. This is my day. This is my day for me, and I'm going to take care of me today. So everybody else just needs to learn how to stand on their own 2 fucking feet and take care of themselves today. And you don't have to say it that rude, but that's about the gist of it at this point. That's exactly where you're at right now. And it's going to come out in a very harsh way if you don't express it sooner rather than later. So let's see what types of abuse you may have put up with in the past. Power plays, overpowered by those that were meant to protect you. Yeah, so you could also be in a very harsh energy when it comes to dealing with others as well. Fairly defensive. You may actually be finding problems where there isn't even problems at times. There was definitely some people who were supposed to protect you and took that position of power and abused it. Actually, I was just talking about that this morning, because I was talking about how people like to make such a big deal out of race. And yes, there is still some race problems today, but they're not nearly as bad as they used to be. And a lot of it is in their own minds. And about 8 years ago, there was a homeless man that was white that 3 or 4 cops ganged up on and beat to death. He didn't have a weapon. He didn't attack them in any way. It was they literally came across this man and murdered him. Luckily, there was video evidence of it. But nobody was out protesting about that. Nobody was marching the streets over that. Why? Because he's not colored? It has nothing to do with race. It has to do with an abuse of power, but they'd like to keep us divided and focused on race, so we aren't looking at the deeper issue there. Do we really want to turn into a place like Russia, where our cops have that much fucking power over us? Anyway, so I don't know why that one was brought up. Maybe somebody here has actually had abuse from some form of law enforcement. The guy I was talking to was actually, we were discussing another video I watched where this cop was trying to force somebody to give him his identification. I was like, and they don't have to give you identification if they're not doing anything. But this cop was insisting that he could arrest him if he didn't give him identification, even though he hadn't broke a law, because he didn't know who he was and he wanted to know who's in his town because he's protecting his town. That happens a lot in small towns. This is a small town. That guy has had that happen to him twice in this town. Anyway, narcissistic abuse, ego and insecurity projected as an inflated sense of self. And a lot of people in those positions of power have that too. A lot of times it's the high school bully that grows up to do something like that. Sometimes, yes, it's the kid that always dreamed about being the superhero. True. But just as often, it's the bullies who think that they're going to be able to have that extra power there and are never going to be questioned for what they're doing. Think about football players in high school and how they are so worshipped, yet a lot of times, not always, but a lot of times, they are the biggest bullies in the school. It's because they can get away with it. Just like they can get away with, a lot of times, not always, not studying because they want to make sure that those kids can play football because that's the most important thing here, right? Until they're out on their ass at 18 and have nobody standing behind them supporting them anymore, and they wake up to, holy shit, I didn't put anything into anything but sports, and now I don't even have that. Anyway, chaotic lifestyle, nothing feels safe, hypervigilance, feeling like the sky is falling, waiting for the other shoe to drop. And you know what? You could be having a lot of racing thoughts right now too, just like constantly going from one thought to the next without your brain ever having a chance to just rest. And that could be affecting you very deeply at this time. No healthy boundaries, making you really tired, lethargic. You may not even be sleeping very well at this time. Lavender would be really good for you. Lavender, as well as some chamomile tea at bedtime. Both of those things really work very well in helping to calm the thoughts and ease the mind and just helping you to feel comfortable and safe. And think about those intentions while you're mixing up the chamomile tea. You can actually put lavender in your chamomile tea. They have lavender chamomile tea. So maybe that could be something that could help somebody too. No healthy boundaries. Freedom not allowed. So in the past, you were not allowed to be your own person. You were not allowed to just be free. You were not allowed to explore the world. You were very tied to certain people or situations to the point of they were either constantly invoking fear and anxiety in you to keep you hostage in a way, because they didn't want you to break away from them and be around other people and then decide to leave them. So they could have been holding on to you very tightly, and it could have been coming out in very bad ways. I'm not saying that they intentionally did these things. Sometimes, yes, and especially when it comes to actual narcissists, which only make up about 2% of the population, but everybody has narcissistic characteristics within them, everybody including you. And so there was definitely somebody that was in a very narcissistic energy, somebody that was constantly making you feel like you were worthless or you had no value, making you feel like you were nothing, making you lording themselves over you like they were the God's greatest gift, and really trying to act like they were superior and far more intelligent and things like that. And it may have actually made you question your own intelligence, question your own sanity. It could have had you constantly looking over your shoulder for whatever's going to attack you, because these people had you thinking that if you even blinked, you were going to be attacked by something. And so you may actually be out on your own at this current moment, and you could be having a lot of issues with paranoia. You could be having a lot of issues with attracting in people who are doing the same thing as well, because you may be afraid to be loud, to be proud, to be bold, to be out there, to express yourself and be who you are, and be just honest with people when they come up saying something to you or doing something and you see the red flag. You need to say it. You need to say, hey, you know what? I don't like you treating me like that. And if you're going to treat me like that, I don't need you in my life. Do you got it? And if they start treating you like that again, be like, okay, I'm out of here. And sometimes they do come back, and sometimes they do actually change those things, because sometimes they don't even notice that they're doing those things. And when you point them out to them, and how would it feel being in my position and having me do that to you? Would you like it if I was doing that to you? No, you wouldn't. Would you? And sometimes the universe even throws a moment into their life where something happens that's very similar to what they were doing to you, so they can see it from their own eyes. And a lot of times that's after somebody tells them. But anyway, because once they decide, or once somebody tells them and they decide to still not see it, then the universe will throw tower after tower after tower into their life until they get the fucking hint. Anyway, distress tolerance, getting through a tough situation without making things worse. Accept reality as it is. The sky is not falling, it's just life. Life has its ups and downs. Life has its problems. And at the end of the day, everything's going to be okay. This reminds me of my mom was an LDS Mormon as a child, and she broke away from that. But I still have occasionally a little bit of what she had. When the cupboards started getting a little bit less full, they're like half full, and the fridge is half full, and money's a little bit tight. We have nothing to eat. Instantly, we have nothing to eat. There is nothing to eat because we must save that for the end of days or something. I don't know. So that's just invisible. And because there was always so much food around, when there isn't as much food around, she feels like there's no food around and you don't know where you're going to get your next meal at. That kind of thing. But that's not the case. You know, yeah, there might be a little bit less food right now, but you still have food. So you should be grateful for the food that you have, and you should be consuming the food that you have. Correct? But instead, you're worrying about whether or not you're going to have food in the future and freaking out over it and stressing yourself out. You may be having a lot of fucking back pain too, especially shoulder and neck pain, migraines, things like that. And as you learn how, in those moments, to just take a deep breath, and as you let it out, allow all your muscles to relax. When you start feeling them tensing up, just take a deep breath and allow all your muscles to relax. Allow yourself to relax and just feel okay. I am okay. Everything's fine. Everything's going to be fine. And even if there's a problem right now, we can figure out a way to take care of it. Whatever it is was supposed to happen. What can I learn from this? How can I handle this? What's a better way to handle this than freaking out and losing sleep and overthinking it and driving yourself insane? Because there are better ways, and I know I've been there. I have been through a lot of anxiety in my life, and it sucks. Self-soothing can be very effective. Find a self-soothing technique that doesn't hurt yourself or others. Walks, jogs, hiking, warm blanket cocoon, a nice fire, music, shower, stuffed or real animals to cuddle. All of those things can be amazing techniques to get you through a rough period or moment. Grounding yourself, reminding yourself that there's the world in front of you. And sure, these things may happen or these things may come up, and we will handle them as they do. Until they do, we're going to focus on what's right in front of us, and we're going to take it one step at a time, one day at a time, and we are going to work slowly to chip away whatever problem this is until that problem becomes our success looking back on it. And you got this. You fucking got this. You have been through so fucking much. You are so fucking intelligent, and you know exactly how to work your way through these things. Get active to release the toxic energies within you. Ride a bike, hike, chop wood, clean, or organize. Art, writing, yoga, stretching, games, and activities will help, especially with that defensive or angry energy. If you've been carrying around a lot of anger, bitterness, resentment, aggression, defensiveness, a lot of those things can be helped and healed through something that actively wears your physical body out. And also, you'll sleep better at night. Volunteer somewhere. It helps you to feel needed and appreciated. And it also helps those in need. It gets you out and interacting with some good people too. So it will get you meeting people, communicating with people, networking with people, creating a support system for yourself, finding out about resources that you could use or things that you can do to make a little money on the side and things like that, which can be very hard to figure out how to do yourself, especially if you're in a new place. And some of you might actually even be in a place where you don't have any family or friends or anything like that, especially if you've been isolated for a while, which a lot of people who have been in this situation have been. So in volunteering somewhere, you are going to meet people, you're going to find some happiness, some joy, some fulfillment, and you're going to be feeling really good about yourself. It's going to raise your vibes, and you're going to be feeling like you're accomplishing something. And also, sometimes when you volunteer somewhere for a little while, you can actually find a job position as well, and those people will help you get into a job position. Bullying, target, center stage, discrimination, made to feel unworthy of life. You can take care of you. And you are very fucking worthy of life. Think about It's a Wonderful Life for a minute and how he felt like his fucking life was meaningless anyway. And why not just remove it from this fucking earth? And then he got to see what earth would look like without him. Think about all the lives you've touched, all the wisdom you've shared, all the beauty you've expressed in this world, all the love you've given out. That love was never a waste. It was never a waste. Ever. Every bit of love you ever put into any situation was beautiful and amazing. You definitely do deserve to be here. You are an amazing, beautiful person. Look in the mirror every single morning and start telling yourself one thing about yourself that you love. Make it a different thing every morning of the week. I am beautiful. I have a nice voice. Look at my smile. Isn't it fucking amazing? Look at my eyes and that sparkle in them. That is fucking beautiful. Look at those storm clouds brewing in my eyes and that sadness and pain and hurt. Wow, the depth of emotion that I have is something so amazing. Even on bad days, you can find something good. So tell yourself something good every day. Third eye chakra. Trust your intuition. Lavender will help with that too. The answer lies within. Meditate, journal, write, draw, or take time in nature to seek the answers. The only validation that you need is your own. Do not let others cause you to feel unworthy. You have the power to disallow. You have the power to decide that their opinion of you means fucking nothing to you. Not one damn thing. And yes, it is hard to do. It is fucking amazingly hard to do. It's really hard to stop telling these people everything about your life too, especially if you have to still be connected to them for some reason. So remember that this person does not deserve to know your secrets or the affairs going on in your life. They don't deserve your time, your energy, and your effort at this moment. You deserve your time, your energy, and your effort. Breathe out all the negativity. That's what I was talking about earlier. Feel the burdens fall away as you release that tension within. I really feel like a lot of you have a lot of health problems going on right now due to the abuse you have gone through. The stress on your system and your body and your mind and your emotions for fucking years. And as you start to work through that and release that baggage and let it go, and as you start to find ways to deal with that anxiety, find ways to deal with that PTSD, find ways to express yourself more loudly, clearly, confidently, you are going to notice that a lot of that pain is going to go away. Things that you thought were never going to go away, things that you thought had a serious medical reason behind them, but in all actuality were caused by the abuse you've been holding on to for years. 10 of Pentacles, strong, stable, long-lasting connections magically manifesting. Generosity of spirit brings abundance. Loyal, committed, grounded, reliable, stable, strong. Growth brings success. Completion, stable, strong. Bring your relationship into the 3D. So, you are manifesting a solid support network. This is what you're going to be doing while you are doing all of these things to heal yourself, work on yourself, and express yourself in a much stronger way. You are calling in a real support system, a committed, loyal, loving, grounded connection. You are also going to be calling in that financial stability that you need to create a life of your own, free of others. That independence, while still being interdependently connected to others, so that when you need help, you have people to reach out to, which you never had before while you were around these people because they wanted to keep you in your place. And your place is not under their fucking boot. These boots are made for walking, and that's just what they'll do. One of these days, these boots are gonna walk all over you. Hit the road, Jack, and don't you come back no more, no more, no more, no more. Hit the road, Jack, and don't you come back no more. You're going to start learning how to say that to all the people that you need to get out of your life, too. Able to accomplish anything. Knowing your work paid off, eyes on the prize. Going within to learn and forgive. Committed to interdependence. Release control. Ready to work for it. Exactly. I don't know why I wanted to say exactly. Maybe somebody was thinking exactly. Ready to work for it. Feeling good about yourself. You're going to be fucking feeling good about yourself. You're going to be knowing that you can take care of business, that you can do anything you put your fucking mind to, and you're going to be seeing it all manifest right before your fucking eyes. And it's because you're letting go of this control and you're just surrendering and allowing everything to be exactly what it is in this moment. And knowing that, yeah, there's some fucked up things going on right now, but there's some fucking good things too. So focus on those good things, grow those good things, and make it happen in your fucking world. Damn straight. So, having the courage to go after what you really want, knowing what you want, bold, courageous, protective, calculated, innovative, risk taker, passionate, working for what you want, self-love, hard work, supportive, creative, good ideas, inspiring, knowing what is best for you. So, you are headed in this energy of knowing what is best for you, doing what is best for you, expressing what you need, what you want, what you don't want, and being able to move in a way that says that what your words are saying is what you actually want. Being able to say, hey, look, don't be fucking... If I fucking message you, don't be not messaging me back. Because if you're not messaging me back, I ain't gonna message you either. And you know what? If you want me to message you, you're gonna have to message me too. And then if those people still behave in the same way with their breadcrumbing and shit, which they may not even notice that they do. A lot of people have been through a lot of abuse, and one of the biggest ones would be emotional neglect. And a lot of people who have been emotionally neglected have a tendency to keep a distance in that form. So, I'm not saying they're evil and they're doing it just to be cruel to you. Sometimes, yes. But a lot of times, they just really don't know. And when you express those things to them and how it makes you feel, and ask them how it would make them feel if you did the same thing to them, sometimes they actually do turn those things around, and not just with you, but with other people in their life too. And sometimes they don't. But you're going to be perfectly fine with moving away from that energy if they don't. So, that's what I have for this pile. And I really hope that you guys enjoyed this reading. I would absolutely love to hear what you guys had to say about it, whether or not it resonates, what you might be going through, all that kind of good stuff. This is my favorite part, honestly, about tarot reading. That's why I enjoy my personal readings so much too, because they delve into this every single time I do a personal reading with somebody. And I really would appreciate hearing what you have to say about it in the comments below. Sharing your story helps you to heal more, and it also helps other people to heal as well, especially with knowing that they're not alone. So, yeah, share your story down there. And if you guys got something from this, or you feel like this helped you in some way, it would be so awesome if you could support me in some way. Thank you so much to everybody who already does. Whether you like, share, comment, subscribe, leave timestamps, donations, make purchases. And you can find my Cash App, PayPal, Amazon wishlist, P.O. Box, and my prices, as well as my contact information in the description box below if you want to be able to do any of those things. Thank you guys so much for that. As I'm here to support you on your path, it helps me to be able to support myself and my children as well. So I really do thank you guys so much for that. And I hope you guys have a beautiful night or day, whatever it is, wherever you are when you're watching. Bye-bye, guys. Hi, Pile 2. So I had to take a small break in between Pile 1 and Pile 2. Pile 1 is extremely intense, and I knew it was going to be from the moment I laid out the piles. A lot of anxiety over there. So, if you didn't listen to the beginning, today's reading is also an energy healing. And so it's going to be a very intense energy healing. Make sure that you get some good sleep tonight. Make sure that you maybe even take a shower later today to wash off all that negative energy. As you are under the water, feel the water flowing down over you and down the drain. And imagine it taking every bit of negative energy with it right down that drain, and feel all of your muscles relaxing as you do that. That's really going to help this pile, I feel like. Cleansing with water is going to be very beneficial for you. So, what area of your life is this affecting most? Your ability to be able to gain help is one area that this is affecting a lot, because you may be hiding away from the world a little bit. You could also be attracting a lot of people who are looking to jump on your vulnerabilities, or looking to take advantage of the position you're in. You may be attracting a lot of opportunistic energies to you. People who like to take from the giver. And at this moment, you may be trying to transition into an equal give and take from being a giver for a very long time. And the giver and taker are equally responsible for that dynamic. I'm not saying that you're a bad person. I'm not saying anybody is. What I'm saying is, when you give and give and give, and you don't give anybody a chance or an opportunity to give back to you, or you don't ever need anything and ask for help, or things like that, then you cannot sort out who is going to give back to you when you need it, until you are in a very vulnerable position, and then you have wolves around you. So you may be trying to really balance out those energies and go from being a giver all the time, or a taker all the time, to being a giver and a taker, and dealing with givers and takers. You could also be having a really hard time saving your money, or feeling stable or strong in the position that you're in. You may also be so worried about the energy of others harming you, or worried that other people are going to be able to affect you negatively in some way. But I feel like you're the one affecting you negatively. It's not anybody around you, it's you, because you don't even let anybody close enough to affect you negatively. So, the vulture is an amazing animal. And South Africa found out that they were very, very, very important to the ecosystem when they almost killed them all off. Because they eat up all the diseased, old flesh laying on the ground. They eat it all up so that disease isn't going into the ground. It isn't going into the water. It isn't going into the other animals that will spread it to everyone. And vultures do not spread those diseases. Those diseases do not affect or harm them. So I feel like the energies of others around you, when you take your power back and when you stand confidently and strong and when you're feeling very good about yourself, none of those energies around you can harm you in any way. And so you may be worrying for nothing in a way, because all of it is inside of you. When it comes to interacting with the next person you interact with, and you think about giving them something, pause for a second and say, wait a second, is this something I'm going to need? Am I okay giving this to this person? Am I going to be okay in the long run doing this? Even if nothing comes back from them, am I okay doing this? Because it'll come back from somewhere. So, say you decide to let somebody have, I don't really do borrowing, really. Say you decide to let somebody have $50, right? And they're like, oh, I'll get you back. Oh, I'll get you back. Most of the time I'm like, it's okay. Don't worry about it. It'll come back to me from somewhere. That's okay. I don't want you to have to be stressed about this. It's only $50. And you know what? If I was hurting and I needed something like that from you and I reached out, maybe there's going to be a point in time where you're going to be able to help me in the same way, right? You have to be okay with never getting it back if you give something to somebody, ever. Now, if that person does not do similar things for you, even upon you asking for help, or if they see you need it and offering it, I would say ask for the help first too, because sometimes people don't pick up on those things. They just don't. Sometimes they don't. Not everybody has the same gifts as you. So sometimes, yeah, we do have to ask. Pride be damned. We have to ask sometimes. There's a lot of people who disagree with me on that. That's why you don't see a whole lot of them asking for help when they need it. Instead, they pretend like their life is so beautiful, and then people send them more. But I'm a very authentic person. So I put my real situation out there and be like, hey guys, this is what I got going on right now. My life is not perfect either, any more than yours is. And life is never going to be perfect. But it can be good if we focus on the things around us to be grateful for, and if we're able to reach out and ask for that help when we need it, instead of having to pretend like we got everything together all the time because we must be independent. And you know what? A lot of us raised by men or raised by women who went through the independent women era, we have a lot of that energy within us. A lot of people would consider that toxic masculinity, but there's a lot of that in feminine energies these days too. Because masculine and feminine at the core of them are really just human labels. There are some things that are inherently true, I guess, according to some people. But anyway, let's see what kind of abuse you may have gone through to get to this point in your life. Pretending to care. So you have dealt with people who have pretended to care. Once again, the vultures. Well, you know, not necessarily the vultures in the sense of what people think of vultures as, scavengers coming to pick your bones clean, you know. So people pretending to care about you, pretending to love you, pretending to be there and support you. And then after they get what they want from you, they disappear and you're just left holding the bag, which has nothing in it anymore because you gave it all away. And so holding back a little bit Giving a little bit, yes, but holding back a little bit and reminding yourself that I don't have everything in the world to give and everybody's problem is not my problem is going to help you in that dynamic a lot, because a lot of those people aren't going to be around because they're looking for somebody who's an easy target that they can get whatever they want or need from right now. And so giving a little bit and then holding back and seeing if they're going to give back to you is something that's going to really help you. Triggers paranoia and trust issues. Some of you may have actually watched Pile 1 too, especially if you dealt with any kind of narcissistic abuse. And doubts of those that are close to you. So it causes you to question your connections. It causes you to constantly worry about it. It may even cause you to overthink situations till it's driving you fucking absolutely batty. Overshadowing makes you feel invisible, like you can't get recognition, like you aren't good enough, like your voice doesn't matter, and like everything that they say is the end all be all. So, you definitely dealt with somebody who liked to take the spotlight. Once again, if some of you were drawn to Pile 1, you may want to check that pile out. Really wanted the spotlight, had to be in the spotlight, had to be seen, had to be heard. And if you were being seen or heard at all, it deflated their ego and they lashed out in some sort of way to where you learned how to emotionally regulate yourself to match the needs of others. And you also learned how to quiet your voice. Hide invisible in a fucking corner, which really fucking sucks, guys. I've been in that position myself too, and it really fucking sucks. Let me tell you, yeah. Ooh, doesn't surprise me that sexual harassment came out because I was molested, and that's a lot of my invisibility came from before that, but a lot of it came from that too. May trigger past assaults, PTSD, makes you feel at fault, makes you want to be invisible, you feel alone and in danger, and like you need to get clean. So, you could definitely be dealing with sexual harassment currently from somebody. Somebody may be stepping over your boundaries a little bit too much, and you may not be being very clear with your boundaries. You may not be speaking up. You may not be expressing yourself in the manner that you need to be expressing yourself in. And sure, there are going to be people who hate you for it, and there's going to be people that walk away from you. Okay, I'll put it this way. There was a guy, pretty narcissistic, and he had been trying to get with me for a couple of years, and I kept telling him, we're only friends. If you want a friend, that's cool. If you want anything more, then you're going to have to find it somewhere else because I'm not looking for that here. When I did get a boyfriend recently, me and him were at the bar, and he was like, I'm going to go see my buddy over at the park over here really quick, and then we can take off. And I was like, sounds good. I'm going to say bye to everybody, and then I'll meet you out back. And so I went over to say goodbye to that guy, and that was the first night that I had him with me out, and that guy was a little salty about it, I guess. When he went to hug me goodbye, he wouldn't let go of me. Wouldn't let go of me. And finally, I got myself free of him and just gave him this look, and he's like, what? It's not like I was gonna take you without your consent or something, right? And I was like, you shouldn't have even did that, especially if we are friends. Friends don't do that. And you know what? I don't fucking need you as a friend. And I walked out and left that place. I've said hi to him in passing the last couple times I've seen him, but that's about it. That is not cool. And that is not something you need in your life. So when people are behaving in that manner, he actually said something about, in the middle of that too, he said something about me being old-fashioned like one of those women in the movies. What is so fucking bad about that anyway? That's what every guy claims they want anyway, right? But then when you actually respect yourself and love your body and don't just let anybody and everybody touch you when you don't want them touching you, people get all upset about it. And if they get all upset about it, they are a predator looking for prey. So you don't need them in your life anyway. And if you guys think that was harsh, I am very sorry that you think that was harsh. But sometimes tough love is love too. And speaking the truth isn't always going to make people happy, but it definitely does need to be heard. And I've had to tell myself that as well. So sometimes it is hard to see or deal with the truth. If others didn't believe, it could be because they can't handle the reality. That's not your problem. You know what's true. No one believed me about my mom's boyfriend when he was molesting me as a child. Not one person. Didn't really make me want to tell about anybody else either because nobody believed me. I actually had my aunt, who I thought believed me, ask me when I was 24 years old whether or not he really did that to me. My dad believed me. But that's also because he was molested himself by his aunt. Him and his older sister. Don't be ashamed to share your scars. You are not what happened to you. You are what you chose to be. Your journey is what made you, not what defines you. I got in an argument with somebody recently because they felt like my body count was high or some bullshit like that. And you know what? I was like, just because I choose to walk away from toxicity instead of staying embroiled in it. Not to mention the fact that my tally now, it used to be over half of them were non-consensual in some way. Now, it's only a third of them. So I kind of feel happy about that over the last couple years. And I wasn't going to let him make me feel bad about myself for shit that he has probably done too. And he's just projecting his own crap and his own shame and his own everything onto me. And I don't need that, and you don't need that either. Do not let others project their own crap onto you. See the world through your eyes and not theirs. Third eye chakra, seek solitude, get quiet, remember self-care, connect to your higher self. The answers are within. Intuition is real. And you know what? I would suggest that this pile go volunteer somewhere too, because that's really going to help you out as well. I did tell pile 1 that too. The card actually came out in pile 1, but that will definitely help you to get to a place where you're meeting some good people who are actually looking to help the world. And I'm not saying everybody that's there is doing it for that reason. Some aren't. But there's a higher likelihood of finding some really good people there than there is in some of the other places in this world. Open your heart to give and receive the blessings of love and light. Throat chakra, be confident. Yes, there's definitely some people here who went to pile 1 too, or should. Be confident, assertive, and unafraid of expressing your truth to the world. Communicate from a place of love, empathy, and healthy boundaries. And that could be what's coming right after this too. Co-create your destiny. Ask and have faith, but put in the work too. Yes, so asking and having faith is great, but you can't hide away from the world either. There's a song, We're All Mad Here by J.J. Tucker. You should check that out. You can't escape the journey by hiding in your room. And until you learn that lesson, you're going to be repeating that same cycle. So, 10 of Cups, light family, happy family, emotional fulfillment, emotional work pays off, abundance of love, choosing love, wish granted, peace, happiness, magical love, strong equality, bond, happy family, emotional completion, emotional fulfillment, enough love to go around. So, in doing these things, you're going to have a lot more energy, a lot more life, and taking some time for you to take care of yourself and what you got going on, and saving something for you at the end of the day. You're going to be feeling so much better. You're going to be vibrating so much higher, and you're really going to be feeling in a very bubbly, playful, energetic mood. And you're going to be inviting in a lot of people in that same energy as you, who are looking to have fun, who are looking to heal, who are looking to grow, who are looking to enjoy life. And you're also going to be inviting in a lot of peace and harmony. You're going to be living from a space of love, where in the past you may have been in a space of bitterness. You could have been really looking at things as hero and villain, black and white, instead of the gray area, and knowing that every person on this planet is both hero and villain. Going over thoughts and details, fixated, logical, stuck on something or someone. Smart, analytical, mature communicator. Manipulation, games, ego, seeing things that you missed before, overly obsessed, manipulative, controlling. Speak your truth. So, do not feel like you were naive or you were dumb or anything of the sort. Do not feel like this couldn't happen to anybody else on the planet, because it could. Do not feel like just because in the past you said certain things doesn't mean you can't change your thoughts or your opinions or your beliefs or your emotions about things now, because you can. Learning more about everything that you're going through is going to help you too. Looking up some of these things online on Google will really help you. Been through a lot. Or hiring a spiritual worker like myself or a therapist. Been through a lot, but making it out, determination wins the day. Actions to heal determines or actions to heal defensiveness caused by your past scars, leaving behind the need to fight and argue, rewiring obstacles, fighting for what you believe in, releasing defensiveness. So yeah, you're definitely going to be working towards releasing defensiveness, letting go, not needing to control things yourself. You might actually be in somewhat of a controlling and manipulative energy at this time because of your defensiveness, because of your insecurities, because of your doubts, because of how low you're feeling about yourself. When people are feeling low about themselves, what do? They generally tend to attack the people around them to take the attention off themselves, and a lot of times it's not even a conscious thing that they're doing. A lot of times they're just in really low negative vibes. And so when a song comes on, you'll just say something really nasty and rude to everybody around you because you're pissed off at them. And I've done it. I have done it to my ex and my kids a few times. But then again, they were doing a lot of breadcrumbing, ghosting, manipulating, all kinds of shit on their end too. Does it make it right? No. Does the fact that I was in pain make it right? No. And at the same time, I can forgive myself. If I can forgive them, I can forgive me. And you can forgive everyone, and you can forgive you too. And then you'll be able to move forward. So that is what I have for you guys. I really hope you guys enjoyed this reading. I would really, really appreciate it if you guys could share your story in the comments below. First off, it'll help you to heal more. It'll also show others that they're not alone as well, and there's somebody that they can relate to. Sometimes you guys will actually find help in each other in the comments below. And also, if you guys got some healing or whatever you needed from this reading, it would be so awesome if you could show your support back in some way, whether that be liking, sharing, commenting, subscribing, leaving a timestamp or a donation or making a purchase. And you can find my Amazon wish list, PayPal, Cash App, and P.O. Box, as well as my prices, services, and contact information in the description box below if you want to do any of that. I really thank you guys so much for doing that. There's a lot of you that already do, and I really am so appreciative. While I'm here to support you on your path, it allows me to be able to support myself and my children on my path. So thank you for that, and I really hope you guys have a beautiful night or day, whatever it is, wherever you are when you're watching. Bye-bye, guys. Pile 3, for you guys, let's see what you are needing to work on healing right now. So, we have the 9 of Pentacles. By the way, I have not looked at anything in this either. I lay out the piles, and then I go through them. Even if I did, I'd probably forget anyway. The only card I've seen is the card you've seen. So 9 of Pentacles. This is affecting your prosperity. This is affecting your abundance. This is affecting your self-respect. It's affecting your independence, your freedom. It's affecting you being able to gain joy from everything around you as well, and see joy in the things around you. 4755 was just on the clock. Agent 47 came to mind too. So there's a lot of transformations going on in your life right now. You're learning a lot, you're growing a lot, and you're applying those lessons that you are learning. Let's see what kind of abuses you could have gone through to affect your stability, your independence, probably a lot of codependency. Probably a lot of probably a lot of codependency issues growing up in your household. Some of you might have chose pile 1 too. Your happiness and optimism is severely affected by the abuse you went through. You may have a lot of depression at times that's really hard to pull yourself out of. The woe is me kind of energy. You may have a little bit of victimhood mentality at times that you're dealing with and battling with. Yeah, child of an addict. Drugs and alcohol was most important. Everything else was second place. So you may also deal with a lot of third-party situations. And once again, the independence energy, the interdependence energy could be really hard for you to find and work with because of the fact that you had somebody who only showed you codependency. And this person, while showing you codependency, placed you on a back burner and did not treat you the way you deserve to be treated because they had other things that they were chasing after first and foremost. Weaponized fear and intimidation makes you feel like you can't escape. No one is there to help you. You are alone. They are more powerful. You have to follow orders. Can't question them. And they always tell you what would be the worst outcome of anything that you have going on, and get your fears and your anxieties going and get you believing that nothing could ever be good. And that's because literally they believe that way. It's not like they're intentionally trying to do that. They literally believe that way. They see the world that way. They see the world from that victimhood position of no power, and that the whole world is bad, which is a lot of the reason why they spend so much time in addictions. Your nature used against you, empath. There is definitely a lot of you who chose pile 1 as well. If you dealt with narcissistic abuse, if you dealt with bullies, if you dealt with things like that, go check out pile 1. If you dealt with some overshadowing, if you dealt with being invisible, neglect, things like that, check out pile 2 as well. Breadcrumbing triggers a desire to chase. Triggers insecurities, self-worth issues, and did I do something wrong? So yeah, there could definitely be people who chose pile 3 who picked all 3 piles. So, you have definitely dealt with people. It's like you message them. Okay, my mom, good example here. My mom, when I was younger, when her boyfriend went to prison, she kind of fell off the deep end for a little while. Her gambling became a really big thing. And because she was always feeling like she couldn't do it, she went from being a single woman who could take care of 5 kids on her own to being a single woman who couldn't manage to take care of 3. And so she spent a lot of time at the casino. And my little brother and sister are crying, and where's mom? She used to be here to tuck us in at bedtime, and she's not here anymore. And I'm telling them, it's okay, you guys, she's fine, everything's okay, and trying to get them to sleep. And in the meantime, calling my mom at the casino and paging her 50 million times, and she's never fucking calling me back. She's gonna be gone for an hour, and she's gone for 9. And then my older sister did the same thing when we moved in with her. Never feel like you are a victim. You are a survivor. But she spent so much time in her hatred of my mom that she didn't see that for a long time. So being able to see some of these similar traits in yourself and to not hate your parent for them and to not hate you for them is going to be very important. Never feel that you are a victim. You're a survivor. Don't let others define you. Define yourself. Stand up for yourself. Stand up for others. Stand up for what you feel is right. Time to practice mindfulness. Be aware of the present moment and observe. Try to respond and not react. So it's time to start responding to the situations around you, taking a deep breath and allowing yourself to calm down and relax before you decide to address the situation is going to be very healthy for you. If you have somebody in front of you and things are getting heated, tell them, you know what? I think it would be a good idea if we both just took a deep breath for a minute so that we can address this in a more calm manner. And if we can't do that, then I think it would be a good idea if we had a little bit of space and we can come back and communicate about it later. But it does need to be communicated about when you come back to it. Take some you time to relax. Meditation, massage, bath, shower. If it's too stressful, take a break and come back to it later. It will be much easier to deal with if you have a fresh and rested mind. So, it's time for you time. It's time to take care of yourself. You can take care of everybody else much better if you take care of yourself first. And the whole world is not going to come crumbling down if you decide to take a day away from taking care of everybody. Take some time and some space to calm yourself when you're feeling upset or overwhelmed about things. Because that is what is going to help you to find that peace and that grounded energy within you again. A lot of you in this pile could definitely deal with a fair amount of anxiety as well. You could also deal with that need to chase after these people who are barely giving you the time of day. You don't need to be chasing after these people. Addressing them is different than chasing after them. Addressing their actions and what they're doing and how it makes you feel, and asking them to please respect you by showing you the same respect that you show them and messaging you back when you message them, or if you're having a conversation, actually ending it instead of just disappearing, or whatever the case may be. But if they are not going to step up to the plate because they feel like you're just going to be there forever to put up with the abuse, 5455 was just on the screen too, then it's time to walk away from that situation. And know that as you close those doors, new doors will be open, better doors. Doors that are going to have that respect for you that you have for them, because you are respecting yourself by putting your foot down and setting those boundaries in the appropriate place. Once again, watch pile 1, please. Follow your intuition. Quiet your mind so you can see its guiding light. Paint, sing, dance, live every day with passion. Express your creativity and your passion. Sacral chakra. You are a light worker. Use your healing light to raise the vibrations of the collective. So, when you go away from the world and you work on your painting, your dancing, your singing, when you're enjoying yourself, loving things, doing whatever fulfills you and brings you happiness and joy, when you're following your intuition, when you're trusting in what you feel is right for you and what you feel is not right for you, and you're doing the good things for you, you're going to be feeling very good. And you're going to be spreading a lot of good. 5555 was just on the clock. It's going to transform your entire fucking world. And you're going to notice that positive shift immediately. Immediately. When you start respecting yourself and saying what needs to be said, instead of letting it all go and letting it all go until it builds up into this giant thing where you rip somebody's fucking head off and then you come out looking like the asshole. I did that one recently a little bit because I had let somebody who was very important to me. There's a lot of people that got put in the father category that would have liked something more with me, but they got put in the father category, and I can't help that. And one of them was okay with it, but he passed away last year. And my dad passed away a few years ago. And, recently I had somebody that was more of a father-like figure in my life again too, and he wanted something more too, which I couldn't give him. And I felt like it was probably best if I just walked away, so I did that recently, if we have some space and shit. But we've been reconnecting ever since. But, first I had let things go, a few too many things go, until I finally ripped his head off. And in the middle of it, I'm trying to tell him, because he's not leaving, I'm like, get out of my house, just go, because I've already said a lot of things that I don't want to be saying right now, and if you stay, it's only going to get worse, so please leave. Healing fears. Taking action to balance thoughts and envision a beautiful future. No more blocked thoughts. Hard work, clearing karma, and fears. Ships coming in. Ships are going to be coming in for you, for your hard work at all of this emotional healing. 5750 on the clock. Emotional feminine, loving, sweet, caring. Psychic, empathetic, awareness of connections. Pay attention to the numbers around you too, because you know what? There's been a lot of, I've just been drawn to looking at the numbers constantly and spouting them out. Unconditional love, childlike love, and wonder. Faith, spirituality, kindness, and knowing. So being open and receptive to love coming in for you. Being open and receptive to other people loving you. Getting out of this prison of your own making of feeling like nobody is ever going to love you and nobody is ever going to be there for you. There will be somebody who is there for you. There will be somebody who loves you. There are people all around you who probably love you right now but can't get close enough to even touch you because of these defense mechanisms that you have put into place, and because of these self-sabotaging techniques you're using, or because of the fact that you are just feeling like your thoughts, ideas, opinions, and values are not worth expressing when they are. People want to hear what you have to say, and people want to feel that love you have to offer. You are definitely going to be coming into a very good love connection in the near future, and it's because you're balancing out your masculine and feminine versions of loving. You're able to give that love, but not drown people in it. But you're also not starving people in a desert for that love either. So you're balancing those energies out, where you're not super detached, but you're not super attached. You're a bit of both. Emotional mastery and stability. Overcoming past pains to keep balance in emotional times. This could even be a relationship you're in right now that you are working on creating stability in, and these are the things that are going to help with that. A man who knows what he wants emotionally. Rare find, mature love, emotional commitment, emotional strength, calming, sweet, caring, dreamy, loving, caring, strong, stable, completion, and foundation. Somebody on an equal level as you, commitment-wise and love-wise. Somebody who has a heart as big as yours. And not being afraid of that big heart, because sometimes, you know what? The people who are the most addicted people on this planet, who happen to hurt people the most, who happen to do all those things, most of the time are the ones with the biggest hearts, because they have all those emotions. And a lot of times people don't know how to balance those emotions, how to express those emotions, how to deal with those emotions, or how to release those emotions. And so it becomes very toxic, and it becomes, when you have so much love, joy, happiness, beauty in your heart, and giving and sweetness and kindness, on the other side of that coin, you have the negative emotions. You have anger, bitterness, resentment, jealousy, pain, trauma. And they are equally as big as each other, because your shadow is going to be as big as your light when you're in that shadow side. So you could have had a lot of people who are very emotional people were the ones who have hurt you. And so it may be hard for you to connect to those emotional people on a deeper level, because you're afraid of their emotions and your emotions hurting each other. You're afraid that it's going to be like throwing a match in a pile of gas tanks. But if you never put yourself out there in that way, then you might not get hurt, but you'll never be loved either. So it's time to do that. I really hope you guys enjoyed this reading. I would love to hear what you guys had to say about it, whether or not it resonated, what you might be going through. Sharing your story helps you to heal, and it helps others to heal and see they're not alone as well. So feel free to share your story in the comments below. Maybe some of you guys can connect to each other as well. And thank you guys so much for whatever support you send my way. If this reading helped you at all today or anything of the sort, it would be awesome if you could support me in whatever ways you could, whether that be liking, sharing, commenting, subscribing, leaving timestamps, donations, or making purchases. All of that stuff helps me out so much. It helps me to be able to support myself and my children while I'm here to support you. And each of those ways does that. So thank you guys so much for whatever it is that you can do to support me in return. I really appreciate you, and I hope you guys have a beautiful night or day, whatever it is, wherever you are when you're watching. Bye-bye, guys.